So
I always want to do it with you.
you can do it anytime you want to. And I don't even know how it started other than that when I heard it, I just thought
Yeah.
it needed it.
It's just trademark now.
Yeah, it is.
But as we begin,
Yes.
you've just sneezed and covered
I
this
did.
room with particles that we're
Yes.
hoping are not COVID again.
No, it is again.
We went through this. Everybody
Oh,
thought you had. Do we need to go back through
No,
that?
no, sorry, no. This is definitely not COVID.
But you sound a little stuffy.
I am a little stuck. Well, we had a pool party yesterday.
Was it fun?
It was a lot of fun.
Who had that pool party?
The whole staff
Oh.
and their families.
Thank you,
Yes.
Donnie and
Yes.
Lisa McDaniel.
Yes.
Thank you, McDaniels and
Hey,
Carl.
and even the Mitchell kids who sometimes don't like being social, Julie told me this morning. This is out of her own mouth. She said, my kids don't like getting out of the house. But you know what they told me? Both of them separately and individually. We had a lot of fun yesterday.
Wow.
Come on now. Let's give it
That's
up
a
to Donnie and
nice-
Lisa. But how could you not in that setup?
Oh, that's beautiful.
That fan, John, you had to put a blanket on
I
in
did
the
too.
morning. We had a staff meeting up there.
Oh,
Scott, you both had blankets on
Yes.
that's a great
In
problem
May.
to have.
Yes.
outside.
Yes.
It was beautiful, though. Donnie cooked for us. And then Carl's wife, well, actually Carl, so Susan, I heard a rumor that you were actually going to meet Carl yesterday. He was going to cook for us.
Really?
But they kind of bailed out. We ain't going to let y'all bail out next time. I don't think y'all bailed out Carl and
So
Susan.
he's
I
a
think
real
that-
person.
Yes,
Yes.
they're good people.
I've met them.
Yeah, they're good
Oh,
people.
I
They're
thought
kind
they were-
of they're our kind of people.
Oh, good.
They get along, but they next time they need to cook because me and Donnie. By the way, Carl's wife Susan, I ended up being the assistant.
You did.
That's true.
And I
Yeah.
think I'd rather been out there frolicking.
But you did a great job.
yeah. Oh, thank you.
A frolicking?
Yeah, frolicking out there
I
in the
don't
water
think
like y'all.
that's-
Yeah, frolicking's a
Frolicking.
word.
I know it's a word, but what does it mean?
Just having fun. Just
To frolic.
to frolic.
I
out
might have
there.
to look that up.
But anyway, but then Mallory with her babies, she brought the little ones, and she said it was awesome that her babies had a good time too. So
All right, here's the definition of frolic.
yeah.
It's perfect. You nailed it. Play and move about cheerfully, excitedly, or
Ag-
energetically.
Man, that's Southwood right there.
Amen.
Look at there.
That's
son.
a pilot education.
I'm sorry, I
That's a
questioned
cowboy
that.
pilot education. Southwood Cowboys and LSU pilots. Son. All right, but anyway, she said, like, just for example, this was the girl's first real outing. This is Mallory talking about the babies, Eliza and Nora. And Eliza passed out even before they left the driveway of the McDaniels because she is so tired. How old is she? Maybe two?
I'm not good at
One and a
guesstimating
half.
age.
1.5, 2.
I can look it up in Fellowship Point.
It don't matter. This just gives people an idea. We even had turkey burgers for them, which Donnie said it ruined his grill when they started bringing in veggie burgers and turkey burgers. But I think they all survived. Everybody had a good time. We did fries and everything. But the reason I'm bringing all of this up, it was our first staff meeting back in person. No Zoom meetings. We were all able to join together outside in a safe way since phase 1 is in effect, baby.
Yeah.
So Eliza must be a little over 2 because she was
Yeah.
born on May 30th of 2018.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought it was about 2. She looked about 2 in my
Look
mind.
up there.
But it was pretty fun to get everybody back together again, see
It
everybody.
was.
Yep, loved it.
So everybody's still asking, though. You know what they're asking. They're
No.
like, well, y'all got together, then why ain't we getting together yet?
Mm.
Because it's back to the numbers game.
But it's challenging. Let's go back to like the first thing we did as a staff went to Jimmy V's for lunch one day
Out,
under a tent.
yeah,
all right,
outside.
outside. That was a little challenging.
It was
Yeah, because
very
but no restaurants. had-
Scott kind of actually
Scott-
went bull. a
Well,
little
but
bit.
he was in trouble.
I was
then.
not in a good place.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
kinda-
healthier now, mentally,
let's hope.
physically, other than the
Today is.
Yes.
yeah,
Today.
other than the COVID allergies you had.
Oh my gosh.
But then Teresa and that'd be my daughter Ashley.
Ashley,
Sorry.
my God.
Wow.
He's had a
Ashley
Ryan
and
Seacrest. Did you have a stroke?
Oh, wow.
Did y'all see that this morning? By the way,
No.
Ryan Seacrest had a stroke.
no. He just this is. I told Angie this made me laugh. Now this is how my mind works. This is not on the agenda. There ain't no
None of
talking.
this is on
but
the
when
agenda.
you when you look like you had a stroke. So Ryan is hosting American Idol final or whatever, which I didn't watch. Don't know anything's going on. Don't even know what's because all that TV lost its emphasis when they went to the little. I'm in my living room hosting
Right.
this and singing.
It's weird.
That's just pitiful. It's not good. But they said that he slurred his words, And so everyone accused or thought he had a stroke in the episode. So this was big breaking news this morning. And I laughed and I thought, boy, if they said that about me, they think I'm stroking out every service. Like where he had a stroke, called 911. He had a stroke.
Maybe he just had a little too much to drink.
I told it. That's exactly what I told Angie. I said, I bet he is bored out of his mind. And he thought, well, I'll take a little extra sauce on this one to make this last episode a little better. And next thing you know, he slurred his speech. Now, he made a comment, but I actually haven't seen it. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so Chimmy V's, they're trying. They were one of the first ones to really do the outdoor dining under tent, which everybody's adopted now.
Yeah.
I was about to say we went to the San Miguel, Hascalisco, whatever, up on Benton Road.
How was that?
It was great till the storm came through.
Oh, yeah. Well, weather permitting, this
Food
is all
was
good.
great, but, man, I thought we were going to blow off into the field, so we had to abort that mission. So it's just this re-entry's tough. I mean, luckily the weather's been amazing.
It really has.
Well, like yesterday, there was no humidity.
Ooh,
It was like Southern it was Southern California, man.
I played disc golf in the afternoon,
Well,
and it was pretty humid.
Human?
Humid or humid?
Humid.
It was pretty human.
Pretty humid.
I'm not.
Humid.
Oh, humid. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, y'all had a long day. Y'all frolicked
my
out in the
gosh.
pool and then went and played a
Yeah.
little
Yeah, and
disc
then we
golf.
sat in the Walmart parking lot and had Sonic.
That's what Angie. That's what Hannah told me. Guess where I was? Asleep. I leaned over to Angie at one point and said, "Are our kids home?" She said, "I don't know." I said, "Me neither. I don't care." Night. Now we never even. I don't know what time they got home or what was going
Probably
on.
around 10 o'clock. I think
Oh.
we left about 9.
That means I was in bed early.
That
last
means you
night.
getting old.
Good night. If I was asleep before 10 o'clock,
That's sad.
Yeah.
things was changing.
Well, I left at 9:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you never know them youngsters.
Yeah.
And then
But-
the other weird re-entry is NASCAR. All right,
Oh, hold on.
Sunday, this
hold
is
up.
big.
Hold up. Hold on. Can I?
Come
we
on.
had. Well, let's go. Hold on. Just time out. So Sunday was graduation day.
It was.
That
Well,
was.
that's a whole nother topic, and it ain't even. It's weird and stupid, and it's crazy.
Yes.
But we had a party for my oldest, Hannah, and you came over that
did.
afternoon. Scott, you came over. You were
I
the
did.
only not blood family member
Well, no,
invited.
Madison was there.
Well, that's her friend. That was for
Yeah.
them. Graduate. They were the graduates. But anyway,
Oh, sorry.
so you were the only. You're Uncle Odie, but
Yes.
you're not blood.
No.
But the funniest
we know.
part to me, is that John is big. This is the first NASCAR race back since COVID, 71 days or something, right?
Wow.
You think if it's a football game, I'm gonna have my eyes on it. John I turn the race on for you. I have it on the outdoor speaker so that when you get there at 5, because I knew the race would culminate somewhere around that. I said, John, man, what about that race? And what did you tell me, John? On the first NASCAR race back, he's a NASCAR diehard. He loves. This is the first live sporting event, really, I think, that's been out
It
there.
is.
Yeah.
And what did you tell me?
I took a big old nap.
That is NASCAR in a nutshell.
I got
It's
on the couch.
Napville.
I was excited. I got home in time for it to start live, which is rare on a Sunday. And I got on that couch and I woke up just in time to get to your house.
Yeah.
Wow.
NASCAR in a nutshell. Napville. That's what they ought to have on their next commercial. Welcome to NASCAR. We're all about naps. Need a good nap during COVID? So
part of the problem is like I gave it the good old college try. I really did.
this is your sport. It'd be
I
like saying, man, the Dallas Cowboys' first game back, it's been 71 days, and I'm going, Angie comes in there and I'm in a coma? I don't think so.
There was no energy.
I understand. Why? Because there's no
There's-
fans.
there's
But here's what I don't understand. Y'all are saying there's no fans. That's what NASCAR. You don't hear the only shot you have of a NASCAR fan is
not
when
true.
when they go. NASCAR just in general.
Whatever
funny
you're about
me.
to say is not true.
You do not hear or see them
Yes,
in their
you do.
broadcast.
Yes, you do.
They're just little heads sitting out there.
No. They do
All you hear
breakaway
is-
stories. That Michael Waltrip's walking through like the infield and
And
interviewing them.
the guys weren't even there. You said the
No, they
broadcast-
were broadcasting from a studio in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the race was in South
They
Carolina.
got a race
Wow.
tonight. We're recording this on Tuesday. I was coming in. They have one tonight.
Yeah, that's
in
the Xfinity level. Yep.
And then one
Tomorrow night. They're racing 11 races in 7 days.
Wow.
They just trying to catch up.
They are trying to make up them points, make up the races.
And boy, there's a lot of naps between now and then. If you add up all the hours, people are going to be sleeping watching that. Son, that's next level.
But it just shows that's just another example of how weird all of this is.
It is
They're
so
trying.
weird.
They really are trying, but it's just tough. I mean, they're wearing a mask in the interview, and they're outside, and they're 6 feet apart. They got a big old stick holding the microphone.
I think that's all just mind games they're playing.
I think it's because they think they have to do that because they're asking the country to wear a mask, so they're representing
But
all
that-
these sponsors.
Okay, speaking of that, I heard this morning NFL is experimenting, so we're going to sports.
All right.
Experimenting with an N95 mask that will be the entire face covering on the helmet. How in the world?
Wow.
That was this morning. How in the world do you put a full-headed mask on in a helmet and breathe? Dude, I had to go to the doctor
Miserable.
today. I had to go to the doctor. I got poison ivy on my face.
On your face.
And I guess it's from weed eating, and I don't know how that happened. But man, I
it
made
flew
up.
up and got you.
It got me. So I go to the doctor. I ain't been to the doctor since all this broke out. They're putting your mask on and they're doing your little head thing and no
That'd be your
elevators,
temperature?
whatever. Yeah, all that stupid.
Just want to make sure they know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, they rub that little thing on my head and all. I'm like, I hope you know that's got poison ivy on it now, because man, I made up.
The next person's going to have poison.
I did look it up. You don't even transfer poison ivy. It does not spread through skin.
Even if you get the oil.
No, it's been 2 or 3 days. So like now that I'm broke out in it, it's over. Once you've taken a bath and washed the oil off, you can't spread it. I can't touch my head and touch you and you get it.
Ain't good.
Because we went through last night and thought that that was true. I was like, it ain't true. I'm telling you that ain't true.
You fact checked it.
Yeah, fact checked it. Y'all can look it up. I mean, you ain't got nothing else to do. Look it up while you're out there. I mean, whatever. Like, maybe
I hope people are back at work now that phase one.
you know, well,
What
if
was that?
If it's that's that Ryan Seacrest stroke.
God. But I did not realize how hold on. I did not realize.
There's another stroke, Ryan. Welcome back.
Yeah. Stuffed up I sound. I sound.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
I'll
pretty.
sound like this.
yeah. That's all right. You got.
You
a lot of
don't
voice.
sound as bad as you think you sound.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you don't. But that's serious. They're gonna put some kind of face covering in a helmet.
That's crazy.
I'm like, come on, man. Y'all got to stop. This is getting
Until
out.
they pass out.
Yeah, like how you gonna breathe, dude? I couldn't breathe walking to the doctor in there. I'm like, can I take this thing? No, sir. You need to leave that mask on while you're in these premises
for the rest of your life.
Did you have to sit out in the parking lot?
Oh, and there was
they
some
call
dude.
you in?
No, dude, they're filing in there like ants going for the picnic. I'm talking about just they were all walking in there, and I was
See.
like, I told Angie, I was like, good Lord, this is. But I know why they're going broke too. Doctors got to get some people in there, but I'm not kidding. I'm talking about as fast as you could get them in there. And then there's one laid out there on the ground, about 9 doctors around them. I think the COVID got her, just babloosh, fell out. Oh, yeah, on the concrete, just laid out. And happened to be at the ramp where your wheelchair goes. So they were upside down, feet up in the air on the ramp. I'm like, yeesh.
That
you know.
ain't good.
No.
Oh, man.
Praying for her. Don't think I'm not praying for her or him. I couldn't tell who it was. I was in a
Pray
hurry. I
for
couldn't
them.
see through my mask.
See, on my doctor, you have to sit in the parking lot. You call them and say, I'm here. Then they call you back. Then you have to walk
That's
through.
I
and take
bet
your
that ain't
temperature.
right now. I bet that
That was last week.
That
Yeah,
probably
but
changed with the
phase
new
one.
25% rule.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I'm saying they're stacking them in there, son, like cordwood.
Oh, sorry. Did you have a got a little trigger happy there? Did you have a, like in the waiting room, was there a sick side and a well side?
No. There's
Really?
just, they got all these rubber bands.
Now,
Listen.
Scott is an expert of the doctor's office during COVID.
Yeah,
Because
yes.
how many times did you go to one?
Well, 5?
5? That's almost once a week.
We
Yeah.
got,
It was one week, I think, 3 times.
Yeah, and they had,
and
like-
an ER too.
Yes, I did have an ER visit.
they got rubber bands over seats and all this.
What do you mean rubber bands?
All right, so you got a line of chairs out there. There may be 5 or 6 of them or whatever. So they have rubber banded the arms so you can't sit in those. So there's only one chair open, like yellow rubber band looking thing.
I got you.
I'm
See,
like, wow, this is
With
next level.
mine, they have like every other seat says "Do not sit here," but there is a sick side and a well side.
No, well, I didn't. What would I have
Clean
been?
and unclean.
Give me a good example. What am I?
You would be well.
No, I'm sick. I got poison ivy all over my
I think they're
head.
talking like
Like
what
COVID.
I've got, like COVID sick.
Oh,
You don't have it.
You don't have.
I
to.
know I don't have it. It is
Are you
just
sure
a cold.
you know?
Because
We're
I
not
have a
going
lot of
there again.
drainage.
We've already done all
I
that.
am.
Quit muting yourself.
What is going on?
Get
with
your
me?
finger off of
All
the
right.
mute button. That's
Finger-
your problem. Good.
Let me
night.
see your hands.
Yeah.
Right here.
What is
Sorry.
wrong with you? You having
I'm
a
telling you,
stroke? He's
yes.
over there muting it. Ryan Seacrest, what is happening
I
today?
was not going.
It's what it sounds like on this end.
Because it's every other word.
like
I
that.
was just trying to be a DJ.
I understand. Well, anyway.
So back to now.
Hold
though.
on. But speaking of weird,
Oh,
and I showed this to you. Y'all
Oh,
didn't
my
believe
Oh,
me.
this is awesome.
I got to get my readers on for this now because I want to be accurate. All right. This is a big report.
All right, COVID-19 update?
Yeah, but I mean, who cares? We're done
No,
with
we haven't even done one.
that. But it don't matter. We're done with it. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. All right.
Wow.
I
So
wanted
look,
one.
look. Oh, hit it again. Hit the button. If he can hit the right button, if it's not a
Come on, give me
drum
one.
snare or whatever.
Golly, you're
Hit
just
it.
tearing me up today.
Well, you
He loves
muted
you.
yourself. Go. Oh my!
COVID-19 update.
This is the religious side.
Religious side.
See, that's important.
It is. All right. Boy, it was loud in
Yeah,
my
I
ears.
loved it.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. A priest not lost his job.
I'm glad you clarified
Well,
that.
because this is a report. This is the headlines. A priest fired holy water through a squirt gun.
What kind of gun?
Ryan Seacrest, squirt gun at his congregants as they drove through the parking lot. And there's a picture. I'll show it Sunday. There he is. Look at him. Looks like he's robbing them with the squirt gun.
Has he got a mask on?
Yeah.
I bless you.
That's awesome.
His name, this fella right here, I'd love to have him as a guest, Father Timothy Pelk. He said,
Father
man, I
Pelk.
thought it'd be fun to dispense holy water to my parishioners. A month later, the Catholic priest who serves at the St. Ambrose Parish, he's in Louisiana, no, Michigan. I thought Marishes.
Wow, he got excited.
Well, because I thought we can get him as a special guest. In Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan, has gone viral.
Wow.
That's just,
That
there's
would
even a meme.
annoy me. That would annoy me.
There's a meme of the father surrounded by firefighters dousing a blaze. Then he's got one with stormtroopers. Oh, you got to look this up. That's
This
too
is
good.
awesome.
But, okay, look. We grew up on grandparents' side Catholic. If that fella would have put a squirt gun out as a kid, I thought that was pretty cool. But Mama and Papa would have rolled over.
They definitely,
Yep.
yeah, I'm sure there's probably some pushback on that decision.
Well, the fella's getting creative. But
You
the
got to.
positive is he said he could stand in one side and they'd say roll down the window. He could shoot all the way to the driver on the other side. He can
Yeah.
get the passenger quick,
That's-
and then he can get.
That's
Imagine that thing we
socially-
had at the pool yesterday.
Oh,
that little
the
super
Oh,
squirter,
that would be
super
awesome.
squirter. That'll take it. Baptism.
That's how you should do baptism.
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
Just,
Yeah, just y'all drive through baptism.
So that gives new meaning to drive-by holy water.
Yeah,
Like a drive-by shooting.
Oh,
that's
drive-by
that was-
holiness.
That's
Well, I'm just saying it's a drive-by shooting, but it's holy water.
So it's a holy shooting.
that's weird.
Never
is-
mind.
Oh, yeah, I don't even.
I didn't think
was-
that all the way through.
No,
It's
you
okay.
definitely. There's a lot
You liked it though. I
did
you
like
went
it.
for it.
There's a lot that we don't think through, but that's on the
much
top
everything.
of the list. Yes, but that is strange. So everybody, and I heard different people went back to church or whatever this week, and they're still weird. Everybody's still going.
So weird.
I've seen the pictures. I've seen, and so here's the thing: we're not coming back. We will announce Sunday the kind of plan,
Right.
Because some of the theory that we had talked about in these last few weeks got people fired up, thinking,
Oh, yeah.
good, bad, and ugly.
Oh, yeah. Some loved it, some hated it, and some will never listen again.
I don't know that they'll never listen, but they're like, what? But I'm just telling you.
Just to be clear, we're coming back eventually.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
be back.
Yeah, because he just said we're not coming back. So
No,
that's what
this
I'm
Not coming
Sunday.
back.
I
I said
understand.
that
I'm
he
just
ain't ever-
clarifying because
Yeah.
people freak out.
No.
I heard him say it. We're not coming
No,
back.
yeah, but my point is, and Evan and them are looking up some of the statistics out there. They got some statistics they're trying to figure out and looking at everything. But it is interesting because, like you said, as you look at the way they do it, as you look at everybody's trying to figure it out, it's still odd. It doesn't matter if everybody's got a mask on and you can't shake hands. Did you see that one fella said we should never shake hands again?
I
Yeah,
did.
that was Fauci, wasn't it?
I think so. He said it was a one. But I'm going, people are really trying to figure it out.
I shook some hands yesterday.
That'd be weird, never
Yeah,
shaking a hand
But you
again.
can't hug, or well, that's weird. I think they ain't
Would you
done
just
huggers.
do this?
No, they would probably shake feet like we've seen people do. Touch feet.
Yeah, I don't like feet.
Don't like, yeah, I understand.
Feet are weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I
anyway-
know I need them, but
Yeah.
sorry, I just
So anyway, beyond that, what have you heard, or what is something that's unique or a question you have? Because I can go into some of what we're doing, but it's really based on some of what I was throwing out there last week. But I'm not at full liberty to discuss all that yet.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that we've talked about around the office a lot that is super intriguing to me is how there is more and more of an embracing of the fact that God may very well have allowed this to happen to get the gospel spread at a level never seen before.
I'll give you some statistics on that.
Give me some of that.
All right, so there's a fellow over in Dallas, Gateway Church. This is from Eddie Faith again. Look, it won't even read my face because I got readers and a mic in front of it. This iPhone is for
which,
the
by the way,
nerds.
yeah, when I wear a mask, it won't read my face.
Well, that's
either.
understandable.
That's understandable, dummy. Half your face is covered up.
He called you
Golly.
dummy. That's not nice.
Guys,
He's
if,
edgy
if,
He
today.
is very edgy.
if you have an iPhone that's a face reader and your face is covered up, it ain't gonna read it. That ain't that complicated.
Well, it could read your eyes and your forehead.
It ain't an eyes and forehead reader.
I'm just
It's
saying
a
it
face
could.
reader.
I'm just saying it could.
It could, but it ain't been developed. They're telling you.
They bet
it's
they will now.
It's a face recognition
I
device.
bet they're going to change it.
Not eye forehead recognition.
They're going
device.
to change it to a forehead reader. And
Well,
it-
but
just
God
saying.
bless
in my
them.
case, it'd be a 5-head.
Mine's about a 10 head. No, you're about a 10. I'm about an 8.
Wow.
Gateway in Dallas, Robert Morris said they average 35,000 every Sunday. That's pretty crazy.
That's a big number.
But in Dallas, there's millions of people, so
Right,
that makes sense. But they're a big church over there. Says they went online and their first Sunday, 195,000 watched.
Wow.
So somebody said that's triple. I'm like, you went to
No,
Southwood.
it's
that's
way more than
30,
triple.
60, 90 would be triple. so
So
they
it's
went
6
to
times.
195. That's 6 times,
And then some.
which is pretty shocking.
6.4.
So we don't know our statistics. I did call Evan on my way over, and I will announce it Sunday. I said, I want to know. I know that it was more because we had heard then, but I want to know some of those
You want to
statistics.
quantify that.
But here's the shocking
Quantify.
one, and this is what we're working on too. I had an itch on my nose. He also said that Life Church usually has 1,000 a week who accept Christ each weekend.
That's phenomenal already.
Yeah.
1,000 people a week. You
That's a
think
lot
you
of
was
people.
doing? This is why these
I
were
didn't
all,
think I was doing that.
No. People think that they're doing something. It's a challenge when you see
Oh,
people
sorry.
bigger than I didn't. No, I didn't think you were leading 1,000 people to the Lord. Boy, that'd be some in-home visits, door knocking, right there. Do you remember that? I do. Hello, brother and sister. Was in the neighborhood and thought I'd drop on
Oh,
in on you.
man.
Those things have. Think of how all that changed.
Oh, my goodness. That would
Thank
really
Do
be.
you used to have to
God.
do Monday night visitation like I did?
We were just talking
Wasn't it-
about this.
wasn't
at
it
my house.
required?
Yes. So we were just discussing this.
And weird.
Hey.
I don't. Even then, it was weird, but they thought that was the way
Hey,
to do it.
there's 2 things we talked about that were in the weird category. One was that was mandatory. You went out, you had to go get your fellowship meal in the fellowship hall.
But on Mondays, they added the meal, but it wasn't like a Wednesday night.
No.
meal.
It was just so you
Like
could
a
get,
sandwich. Like it was a sandwich
Yeah,
on a plate.
It's a Subway sandwich.
Grab your sandwich and then go out there and door knock.
And it was cold call. Basically,
Oh.
there was anybody that
It was
had,
cold call?
anybody that had inquired about the church or visited,
or somebody had said, "Hey, I got a buddy at work that
Yeah.
he needs the Lord," so they may put their name on the list. The guy don't even know you're coming.
And
Right.
Did you have to wear a suit?
No,
thank
no.
God by then.
Now, I
it
did
didn't.
meet some cool people. It wasn't all bad, but there were
No.
some awkward moments. But the one that I'd forgotten that you're going to remember when I say this is when people would visit the church on Sunday morning, and before they got home, there was popcorn and a 2-liter Coke sitting on their front porch.
Yeah, so that's weird. Well, they're probably thinking,
especially back then.
They're probably thinking aliens done come in. How did that feller get from there?
Welcome to Simple. Or no, sorry.
That would have been.
That
But
was
I
the
can
wrong
remember
church.
what was really weird, a few situations where they didn't time it just right, and they were on their front porch when the people pulled in the driveway.
Yeah, it's just.
And you're like, hey.
That's how a deacon got shot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But back then, it may have been a little weird, strange, but people are like, oh, okay,
it was more
whatever.
normal back then, though.
I mean, think of how that's changed.
Especially in COVID, that would be, they'd be.
You'd be like, get off.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've got a story on that. So Ian, my son, is interning for the high school. So he was going to deliver. This is so funny. I didn't even tell this story. This weekend, delivering the signs and the little
the graduates.
and the graduates, and a little present, a balloon, and a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper, just to say congratulations, graduate. Well, he had to deliver like 12 spots. And I said, well, Ian, where did you go? Now, remember, this is a Benton kid. He's grown up in Stockwell and Benton. That's the only 2 places he's really ever been. Just got his license. Well, number one, he don't really know where anything is, so he just puts it in GPS and goes. Well, in Simple Church, there's kids come from everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, we don't have, like, we're not Cypress, like, or our First Baptist, where it's kind of like primarily, or Broadmoor. Well, this is Captain Shrievenberg or Benton or Airline. It's like, dude, they're coming from everywhere. They said there was 100 graduates or something that were recognized this past weekend. So when you think about that, Ian gets in the car and he starts driving with a high school friend, Ty Nelson, which is just about as I already talked about Daniel.
Don't.
Ty, he's in the same tree. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fall far. Like when we went camping, Daniel, you know what I'm saying? Ty. So they get in there. So they're driving around, and I said, Ian. He goes, well, number one, Ty wouldn't, like my GPS, I'd be like, hey, just kind of tell me, because he don't have one that'll talk to him. He has to just look at it or whatever. It's not loud enough. And he said, Ty was like, oh, in about a half-mile turn right or whatever. So then he's going, he's like, now! It's like, they didn't get the whole thing.
Wow,
so,
it scared me.
Yeah, so Ian, then Ian.
That was loud.
Yeah, sorry. Then Ian turned, he goes in. So I said, Ian, where all did you go? And he said, well, I didn't realize we had seniors in, like, by the airport, Shreveport Airport. That's kind of the hood. Where there's different people that are in different neighborhoods.
Kind of the hood. It is the hood.
So we got my kid out there driving around, dropping them off, and people are like, looking at them strange because they're walking in with a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper and a balloon. Think about that when that fella walks up. Oh, I'm just dropping off this 12-pack and a balloon. So everybody was pretty cool. And actually, I said, Ian, what was weird? He said, actually, going to people in the hood, it was easier. People were very receptive. Like, oh, man, come on in.
That's true.
Hey, man, they here.
True.
He said they were all cool. He goes, what was weird is when I went to the nice neighborhoods. He said, so he got one, and the Sanko's in the Captain Shreve, Broadmoor area. And they go over, and he's dropped. This is when you said they were on the porch. He said, I'm on this guy's porch, and I'm ringing the doorbell, and nobody's answering because everybody's scared to death. And COVID, and then my kids won't answer the door now. Well, before COVID, they didn't even answer the door. They would go hide under their bed if somebody rang the doorbell, which is ridiculous, but that's the truth. So Ian said, I'm ringing the doorbell, and nobody comes or whatever. And then all of a sudden, here comes the dad. Hey, what are you doing on my... And he was like, Literally, the guy freaked out. What are you doing here? And when the girl's picture came on the screen, she was rather attractive, And Ian said... And then when I saw her name come... Because they don't know who these people are.
Right.
He didn't see her necessarily.
Right.
He didn't know her. He wasn't her friend. Didn't go to school with her. He's like, I know why he's kind of mad. He thought we was there to kind of find out who that young lady was.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going, that's this weekend. That just
Sure.
happened.
Oh,
So
yeah.
as big as COVID is, but then you start thinking about how weird it is. People are worried about the Ring doorbell. They want to know who's there, who's not there. All of that has changed. All right. So I got to get
Where
back
were you
to,
in going with
No,
that?
because I'm going back to accepting Christ, and people we used to do door knocking.
There you go. 1,000 people.
They have 1,000 per weekend. Now they have a big church again as well, all over the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, and now it's spread out. But they're in Oklahoma, so one's in Texas, one in Oklahoma. But their first weekend online, 15,000 accepted Christ.
That's a lot of folk.
That's pretty
That'd
shocking.
be 15 times the normal
There,
amount.
we can do that math easy. 1,015. So just as you were saying, it's unprecedented. It's different. I can tell you, I don't think I'll be releasing those numbers this weekend.
No.
I don't think I'll be like, but I told him we got to make some of that easier. I was telling Evan, you got to learn from them because somehow they're doing that better. Because I know we've had people receive Christ because Julia sent me the communication card. Somebody say, hey, they've prayed to receive Christ. But what I don't think we're doing well is it's not clear and easy to understand. They don't know how to do that. Obviously, I'm not very clear and easy to understand in general, so you got to simplify the method to be able to get that out. But people are trying to figure that out, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think what it's done is, for the longest time, the church was a destination you had to go go try. So, people may be invited by a friend. They may have passed by it in their neighborhood and noticed it. Then when COVID-19 happens, you can't go anywhere. Okay,
No.
You have your stay at home for a number of weeks. And I think people started getting lonely. I think they started having questions. I think spiritually things started happening inside of them. And thank the Lord, all of us churches, Big C churches, you like to say, had, the ability to communicate in their home. And maybe for the first time, they've heard the truth.
Yeah, and I think the people that like Gateway and Life Church and all these others, you got to remember the population is way greater than our population.
Absolutely.
But also their technology and their money and their ability to get to more people was expanded. But the key that I think, and I haven't read and talked to these fellers because I don't know them personally.
Fellers?
Well, the old feller over at Gateway and feller down there,
I
Life
doubt
Church.
they refer themselves as fellers.
Oh, I bet they don't. But if they're in Louisiana, in Northwest Louisiana,
They're fellers.
What's up, feller?
Hey,
Which can you imagine if Craig Corshell come here and I'm like, morning,
What's up,
fella.
feller? He'd probably like it.
He would. Because he's
He's from Oklahoma,
He's from
man.
Oklahoma. What do they call them up there? Okies? From
Probably.
Muskokies or whatever.
I have no idea.
But my point being that as they are a large church, they have a bigger opportunity to expand, but proportionally, we do as well. So if there's been 4,000 coming or 5,000 coming or 3,000, it depends on, again, what size church you are, 400 coming, if those people are seizing that opportunity to share that through Facebook or invite friends in different ways, then it automatically is an easier way for people to experience your church and what you're about. And so they kind of go, man, I'm open to this. So for us, Scott, because of you, the podcast is another entry level because I had another friend of mine listen, an old friend. His wife worked with me at Gadzooks. She was my district manager when I was in the mall over there. Great couple. And Scott called and said, man, I've been listening to all the podcasts. Well, it was another way in to hear our heart, to know what's going on, and then go, man, I kind of like what they're thinking or how they're figuring this out. Or now they went and watched online, so they experienced the church. They had been there before in the past for a service, but now they're going, man, I like the online option. But I think they're trying to figure out the same things. What does the future look like for our family and a church attendance and church involvement beyond just attending the actual engagement? Now, I'm going to meet with him tomorrow, him and Peggy, and kind of walk through some of those things. But that's reaching people that weren't really there, and they're doing it through unconventional ways. I mean, it's one couple, but it's a great example of that.
Yeah, I think they like a couple of things about it. I think they like the creativity and the way it's communicated. You do a great job of that. And I think they also were moved by what we actually did during the COVID crisis.
Yeah.
Because the church has always been known for doing good. That's not new.
a goal.
But more people got to see that.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a goal.
Yeah. But
Jesus goal. Hashtag.
Hashtag.
Yeah. Don't even know what that means.
what, a hashtag?
I don't really understand that.
It's just a symbol.
No, it's more than just a symbol. It's more than a symbol. I
John,
can actually explain.
Why
this
is
real
a
fast.
guy who watches or sleeps through NASCAR going to try to explain to me? Are you on social media?
I will be Sunday.
You're not on social media.
No, this is breaking news.
No, but hold on. You don't know just like me. So there is no judgment here.
I understand.
You don't know the first thing about social media or hashtags.
I don't.
But all these young fellers in our office.
But he does. We're going to let Scott
Yes.
answer this question.
They're telling me that there's a hashtag this and a hashtag.
hashtag that.
Yeah.
We're doing that for the YouTubers. And they're
Yes.
watching. You can watch us
Hashtag,
on
yes.
YouTube.
By the way, I've gotten very tan. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've
Looks
been
good.
outside.
Yeah. But no, the hashtag, so that tags your post. So if anybody looks up anything related to that tag, it brings it up. So it makes it more relevant. So if you hashtag a bunch of keywords or buzzwords,
Well, I
as they're
know
known-
we've been doing it. We did
Yeah.
it for Easter. Hashtag Easter.
Easter.
yeah, and then also
That's
too,
a new event coming up.
Yeah.
Easter, Easter, honey, bunny hopping, honey bopping, honey hopping.
Wow.
What was it called?
Easy.
We called it car.
car hop,
I don't even remember.
car bunny hop,
Bunny car hop.
bunny car
Bunny
hop.
car hop.
That was my dyslexia.
That was a
Hashtag
hashtag
bunny car
because they
hop.
wanted to share the picture.
Yeah, and
Yes.
then if you do that, not only does it tag it so you can get it, more relevant, but
Yeah.
then also you can, with the tag, it helps you pull your media in and be able to track that and stuff as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a twofold system.
I see. Well, we're trying to figure that out. I mean, I think we've gotten a little
So
bit.
we would be hashtag ignorant
Yes.
of how it really works.
Yeah.
Non-social media.
No, but I do admire all these young fellers, whether it's Blake or Scott or Caleb or whatever. Chip, they're all a little younger. than
I'm
us.
almost aged out, though. I will be.
You
honest.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's younger people that are still. You know more than we know. I mean, how much younger are you than us?
I am 36 and you are 50.
Yeah, so 12 years or so.
That's not bad.
12, 14 years, depending on who we are. So I'm just saying that that's a big difference. But it is all of that to say, we got to be learning, and you're going to be on social medias. You're going to be on the socials this weekend.
I'm taking Evan's spot this weekend coming up
with some help.
with a lot of help.
Caleb.
I'm really just going to be a voice.
Yes. Because that'll be how we're going to cut to you, and you're going to tell me who's watching
I am
or listening.
but Caleb's going to tell me who's watching.
But you're going to have your readers on because you can't.
no,
even
I see good up close. Remember, I'm the opposite.
Oh yeah, well,
Like he's just blurry over there.
is it?
that's-
Oh yeah, but I see great right
Big-
here.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try to, but it's a way to do it. It's
Yeah.
a way people are now are.
It's a big deal to people because I think, and you've talked about it a couple times, but it's actually the most engaged that some people have ever been in church.
Yes.
Because they're actually interacting with Evan or Caleb or whoever during the service in a lot of cases.
Yes.
Commenting, they have questions.
So here's my challenge, and I think Carl and Susan we have a couple of listeners, so we appreciate them listening. Here's
How many
something.
subscribers do we have now?
All subscribers that I don't know.
I like how you almost made up an
Download.
answer.
No, but we have
Downloads.
had almost 4,000 downloads.
I think
now.
you're making up information.
No,
Because
no.
you have a tell. You stutter when you start to lie.
No, it's
No,
about,
he's had a Ryan Seacrest.
It's like 3,700, so almost
Okay.
4,000
I mean,
downloads.
yeah, that's close.
yeah,
good.
we went up last week. We had over 300
because of
downloads.
the
in
riveting
one day.
content.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
What was I going with all that?
You said we have a couple of listeners.
Yeah, so like the one thing I
Carl's
challenge
wife.
people on, so like on social media are older because they're not all young listeners. They're our age. Some people are our age and they're not really on all that. So the only thing they know is Facebook.
Right.
The younger generation now is knowing TikTok and whatever, all the Instagram, and all that stuff. So what we're challenging people to do is just don't watch or listen alone. So, for example, if you're downloading the podcast, get a friend to download it so you can laugh or talk about it because it generates conversation and relationship. The same way with watching the service. So if you call someone and go, dude, you got to download this because this is funny, or man, they got some interesting things to say. Well, it gives you a talking point with someone else the same way the message does. So the reason I'm saying that, Donnie and Lisa said they're going to and have been, they're going to bring over while we're not meeting and go, hey, y'all just come over here and watch it. Y'all come over here and watch service together. Let's eat together, because in a safe way, some things I had thrown out last weekend as ideas, yes, it's going to cause you to stretch yourself, step out of the comfort zone a little bit, but it really is important and it really does work. Seeing everybody yesterday at the swim party, everybody was feeling better about
Yep.
it.
It helps.
It just gives you some personal connection with people, and you can do it still in a safe way, and that's still church. It's the gathering of the believers together for fellowship or fun. Did you like fellowship?
I like to use all the F's.
You know.
Yeah, all the F's.
Food,
Yeah, food.
fun, and fellowship.
Yeah, we had all of those things
We
yesterday.
did.
So, but I say that because what was shocking to me, we had a life group Zoom meeting last weekend. Last week. What are you
What are you
laughing
laughing at? What'd
John with a
So when they all got on the screen, I asked all of them that I could see on there through that technology. I could see their little heads looking at me. I said, who here has watched with someone other than your immediate family that live in the house? Watch the sermon. Watch the Sunday morning service. No one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Zero. So when I said, are you willing to do that? Most of them are like, yeah, I just hadn't thought about it. Or so I said, then I asked this question. Who here has gone out to eat with someone or invited someone to their home or gone to someone's home during COVID, even though it's, technically maybe they're not supposed to? Everybody like, oh, I have. Mm-hmm. I said, so now just combine those two. Just bring your buddy over or your friend over or a family member and go, hey, let's just watch the service, because it's really not about just watching the service. It really is about the connection and the fellowship and the talking about that. That's one thing that's missing when it comes to church. So the irony is, in doing it in that method, it will feel better in some ways than a Sunday morning service, because it's already somebody that you know, so you're comfortable with them. But you also aren't worried about all the other elements. Is somebody else sick over there? How do I park? How am I going to get into this building? Do they have a mask? Do they not wear a mask? You're creating some of those same elements without having to put yourself at risk or stretch yourself too far while we're still working through the details of how to make that happen. I'll be talking about this Sunday, but most people tried it last weekend. A lot of those people on the screen, older to younger. One even had a watch party at the office, they asked. And they were like, man, that was great. I'm like, that's a whole lot easier, cost effective. It really meets a lot of the things and really meets their need at a level that really we haven't done before up to this point.
Yeah, I think it just shows that people, they don't necessarily think what's going on over there.
I don't know. What are you doing with your
Sorry.
What, are you chewing gum?
My right ear needs to pop, so I'm trying to get it to pop. Sorry.
I wasn't sure if you were trying to say something and your brain froze.
No.
COVID attacked the brain.
I forget that
for YouTubers, I'll move my mic so you can see
he's trying to pop his ears.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I don't even realize I'm doing it sometimes.
Yeah, it wasn't distracting at all.
No, anyway, what I was going to say is I think it's interesting that people naturally thought to go dine with somebody, whether it was in a parking lot or whatever the limitations were at that week that happened, but they didn't automatically think of going to church together virtually in their own living room. I think it's cool that they're open to it once they're led there, but they didn't naturally think of that.
Yeah. And then maybe one of the reasons, that's what I was telling them, is because it's early on a Sunday morning.
Right.
But ironically, you got up and went somewhere early on a Sunday morning before. And that's the part that I think's weird, is like if you get out of that habit of going, but they're all saying they need it.
Yep.
So I'm going, even if you watch it Saturday night, do it Saturday night, watch the week before. It really doesn't matter. The real question or the real issue is are you connecting with other people, and are you doing that in the way that you feel comfortable with, that fits within the guidelines that we're in, and think outside the box a little bit. Mm-hmm. So like for some, I'm just like, man, get together and have breakfast. Like just, hey man, we're going to have breakfast in my house at 9:00. The pre-service starts about 9:30, or come over at 9:30. We'll start watching the pre-service, eat a little bit, sit down, watch the message. Then you're done by 11. You've eaten breakfast, you've hung out with your friends, you watch the service, and you're out of there. And then we have some other interesting things that I brought up last week that look like they're coming to fruition. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna throw one out there, because this will be the Wednesday before the Sunday that it's announced.
Wednesday before.
Because it'll come out Wednesday, and then we'll talk about it Sunday. But it looks like the restaurant watch parties are gonna happen.
Yay!
Well, and I know that not everybody says yay, but let me just go the level. Already we know that if some people are watching together in their home and they're comfortable with just one other couple or two other couples, that's now 6 people or 8 people, depending on how many you feel comfortable with. But what I also recognized in the Zoom meeting with the life group leaders, there are some people that have a relative in their home that may not feel comfortable having people in. Even though they're close to them and even though they know they're not sick, they just go, man, I got an elderly mom that I'm taking care of, or whatever. So I had thrown out our theory last podcast and said, hey, well, what if we have a restaurant, a location that partners with us, and at, say, 10 a.m., they're going to open early for us, have the service on, or 9:30, depending on if they want to do the pre-show or not, or maybe you watch the pre-show driving there. But by the time you get there, you watch the service with other people in a neutral location, safe distance apart. And you know the most exciting thing to me?
Food.
You beat every other church to the restaurant.
Yes.
So I even threw out this idea, and some of them are going, man, that may be a good thing. So say you're sitting in a restaurant, whichever one, and when you get there, we need a couple people to be greeters. We need people to welcome them just like you would at church. Safe distance. Hey, man, thanks for coming. Service about to start. Just find your table. Sit wherever you want with your friends, because it could be you and another couple or by yourselves, whatever. The restaurants were so excited that I've talked to. We're going, oh, my gosh, what a great way, because it guarantees them a customer when they need to build their business up.
That's right.
So they're going, man, this is a huge thing. So they're going to give us a number. So you're going to make a reservation online. It's, Joe Blow's restaurant, whoever it is. I'm going on here. I'm going to reserve that me and my 2 friends or 4 friends are coming. So we need a table for 4 or for 6. We're telling you that when that happens, they're going to know that they're coming. So we'll have a limit of, say, 20 people or 30 people, depending on the size of the restaurant. Once they get that figured out, you watch the service. But about 10:45, getting close to the service being ending, we're saying, what if you could have a sheet of paper at everybody's table that you went ahead and turned in your order? The waiter or the waitress just comes by quietly as the service is wrapping up or towards the end, picks up your paper. The kitchen's getting all that ready. As soon as the service is over, they're delivering all your food. You're eating at 11:02, 11:03.
I like it.
Then they're able to enjoy that, talk about the message, catch up with what's going on in life, watch the post show if they choose to, and then once football kicks in, and then kick off football. Woo! In your favorite restaurant.
That's assuming football kicks off.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
Maybe
They're going to have an
families.
M95 mask that covers over their whole head. Why wouldn't they?
How are they going to do that?
I don't know. But going back to it, that's we're going to make it happen. We're going to experiment.
That's cool.
So, well, and a lot of the restaurants were pumped. Now, we don't want to tell all those restaurants, but we've got quite a few that are interested. So if you happen to listen to the podcast and you're a restaurant owner, or if you know someone who's a restaurant owner, you could email podcast
At
with
The
an
Simple
S,
Church.
plural, podcast with an S,
Yes.
at thesimplechurch.tv
Yes,
and
which
say,
would be
hey,
like
we're interested.
Podcastices.
Or you can do Justin at thesimplechurch.tv
Podcasties.
as well. Just email me and go, hey, man, we may want to host
I
that.
wouldn't do Justin's email.
Yeah.
But I am way better than Chip Mitchell.
Well, yeah.
How many's he up to?
I don't
now?
know. It was
He's-
thousands.
Oh, yeah, on his phone.
That's ridiculous.
At
I
least.
only have literally, my problem is that there's a lot of junk mail still that's just hard
You
to
can
weed
block
through.
all that.
Yeah, but they keep coming.
You can block.
They find a way to get around it.
You can.
Hashtag
but
block it.
people have been emailing me, though.
Good.
Oh, have they?
Yes.
What are they saying? I mean, wouldn't that be something you'd want to bring into the meeting?
Well, I say people, so I've had 2.
Well, that is people.
That's
Yep,
plural.
I've had 2. Carl's wife, and then your
Thank God,
Yeah, your
Susan.
guy Scott.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he emailed me as well. I can't
Boy,
talk.
he is definitely stroking.
I am sorry.
Ryan Seacrest. So, all that to say, that what are they asking? Is there anything that they're asking?
So
or no?
Carl's wife was both have been very positive.
Well, that's good, Scott.
Yeah, but Carl's wife did have a few things to add. So I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
You
He
got a
don't
phone,
know.
man. Just look it
I'm
up.
trying. Well, I was trying not to do that.
Oh, okay.
He
Well,
don't know.
He don't remember what. Carl's wife. Do not let that be an insult that he don't even
Yes.
remember what you asked.
I'm sorry.
But hey, it's all good. He's been through some trauma in the
He
last,
has.
in the last month.
Trauma.
His
There's-
medication's regulated now.
No,
though.
he's good. You're
We've got
good.
him back.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, Mark Perkins even sent me a happy.
Lost 20 pounds.
Yes. Probably
Scott-
even more than that.
Well,
now.
but right now you're at 20 pounds. Let's go ahead and give it up for
That's
Scott.
what
on
I'm
that.
talking about. That,
Yeah.
Isn't there a cheer on there or something? Like a
No,
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 there's
no.
I'm looking at it right. Well, no, they're supposed to be. I haven't put it there yet.
Oh,
That's
okay.
okay.
I got a
no-
harp.
No,
I don't
that's for
think-
the ladies.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. But all of that to say, some of those things are already
That's cool.
in place, and I think it'll help people if they'll be willing to do it, risk it, try it. It's going to do good for the business, which people ask me why that's a big deal. This is obvious, but if the restaurants close and the employees lose their jobs, your tax base and your churches and your community is very much adversely affected. So if we're going to do anything, I don't think it's wise to run back to a building when we can take the church to the people and possibly save multiple restaurants and multiple jobs. And I think that's a good thing.
Well, the cool part about it is it overcomes one of the biggest hurdles anybody new faces, and we hear this all the time, is the quantity of people that they're interacting with, and they don't know anybody. So this is a great little entryway into the Simple Church if you're new out there.
And especially if you invite them in. If it's just you and a couple of your couples, like, hey, man, let's go to our favorite restaurant. And we're going to try to do restaurants all over the area. We're trying
Shreveport
to
and
Shreveport,
Bossier.
Bossier, north, south. I mean, because
Plain dealing.
Yep. I don't know if there's any out there, but maybe. I mean,
Hey,
I'm not against it.
I had to deliver one of those graduation packages last week, and I went to Elm Grove. Okay.
That's a long way out there.
Well, I went on to that. I must have been on the outskirts of Elm Grove because it was 35 minutes from the office.
Wow.
Yeah, that's out there.
And that just amazed me that people go to the church that live that far away. That's as far as Marshall, Texas, if you went interstate.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
I mean, that's awesome. And it's a lot slower going to Elm Grove way,
Yes,
though.
it is. No, I'm sorry I laughed. It's just the way you said Marshall. You went really country.
I
in
did.
Marshall, Texas.
I went real Marshall, Texas.
Marshall, Texas.
Because I got an accent.
Yeah.
Well,
He does too when he's tired.
I don't know if I'm tired or just
I think you're tired.
the problem is
Oh,
it's
yeah.
probably just my voice.
If you went to bed before 10 o'clock last night, you're tired.
I got another quote for you.
Oh.
Ooh.
Because it goes along with like some people are concerned about the things that we had brought up.
Oh, you mean as alternatives?
Yeah, they're like, well, I just can't. Number one, those alternatives still actually emulate and possibly replicate the New Testament church more than the current American model. That's a deep.
But can I add, though,
But I'm fixing to give you something
but,
on that.
but
yes,
to
of
quell
course.
their fears,
Quell their fears.
all of these ideas would remain in addition to live services when they resume.
Yes.
We are not saying that we're getting rid of live church services.
No, but I think the reason that you can say that, and it's true, but I think why I go, yeah, I mean, that's going to be an obvious. But I think why I'm pushing the envelope a little harder is don't fall back into tradition or religion for your comfort. So just because that's the way you grew up or the way you have previously experienced it, maybe God pressed the pause button and shook the church out of the building because he doesn't want you to go running back to the way it was. So when you keep going, well, yeah, but we're going to, well, then people just go, well, then I'll just wait for that. Or that's just what I'm going to, where I'm going. And then they don't try anything new.
Right.
And to me, that's what I hate about church is like we're so slow to change. We're so slow to try something new. And that's the Simple Church, got started and exists because we were willing to try something new and we went for it and we were constantly changing and willing to adapt. And so many people were willing to do that. And we saw results in this town that had not previously been seen.
Right.
So I go back and go, yeah, relax. We're going to get back. There'll be some level of that. But are you going to use that as an excuse not to go, well, man, I can invite one friend to watch the service at my house, or I can go to a restaurant and watch with a couple of people. And here's one of the reasons why. And this is a bold statement, but a great one again. Carey Nieuwhof, another leader that we listen to, we've referred to him a few times. If you're willing to further rethink your methods, you'll further advance your mission. And people that are smarter and wiser and more experienced than us know that that is a true statement, that if you don't, it won't. So when we launched Simple Church, I remember all these other little churches were calling us. I can remember still going to do, and I may have talked about it before, but going to do these conferences across America. People weren't willing to even listen to what you were saying.
Right.
They're just not going to do it. We're not going to do this. Now, we joked about, and we went down this road of just close. I'm not going to lower my standard, quote, to shorts and T-shirts. I'm not going. Well, then, okay, then you're not going to further what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
I'm not going to watch on the computer. That's just not church to me. Well, then you will further hinder your ability to advance what God's doing. As I previously stated, 1,000 people were given their life to Christ just in Life Church, and 15,000 did because of the computer. Well, it's the same thing. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know what'll happen in life groups. But what if this time draws more people into the church, or more people are deeply connected than just sitting in a dark room or sitting in a church service somewhere and walking out? They go, now, man, hey, man, what's your story? I don't really know you. I've seen you there. Because the restaurant, who, once again, double benefit. The church don't spend money building buildings that are empty 6 days out of the week. This restaurant's already built the restaurant. They've already invested in the environment. They already have hired the staff. They have the kitchens in place. They've employed the people. It gives them jobs. It's going long term. Why would you not just go, let's rethink that, invest back in the community, help all these businesses, help your tax base, help all these people keep their jobs, help the overall community, as opposed to run back to the church, run back to whatever building it is, and just sit in there and then where everybody's better. I'm like, no, man, I don't know about all that. I mean, that's just me.
Yep.
I like now, enforce or re-engage that thought of we're going back. One day we're going there. Here's another one from Carey Nieuwhof, just to kind of get you going. Yeah, okay. Clicks lead to bricks. So the more times people are watching and clicking on your website or clicking on to watch, they eventually go, I'm leading to, now for us, whatever structure that is, to moving from online watching to I am now going to move to I want to know that person, or I want to hang out with that person, or I want to get to know more people in that environment.
Makes sense.
So I'm only saying that everybody's kind of hanging on the brick part, where I'm going back to, hey, well, maybe through the online watching, or maybe through listening now, they've clicked on this podcast and they're going, you know what, maybe we should try to, figure this out. Now, we'll organize it. We'll figure it out. We're going to make it easier for you. Our job is to facilitate and organize and manage those things. But the ultimate reason that you do want to get back to the church, and it does make some things simpler, childcare, because like right now, if you take a kid to eat, depending on their age, they're like, oh my gosh, that's complicated, that's hard to do. That's why I'm saying, well, then have a couple of couples over at your house and have a kid babysit or something else, and just at least watch it while you're trying to figure that out. It's not ideal,
right?
And it may not be long term, but for an older couple, they're going, no, it's very much ideal. I cook at my house. I don't have to fight the traffic. I don't have to drive. So all of those may stay in place, and we believe they will to some degree. But ultimately, we know that the church, in whatever facility and however you choose to do it, is still, important. It just may not be as important as previously thought.
Right.
Everybody, he just said, yeah.
I said right.
That's just a lot to ingest.
Yeah, wow.
It is, but it really isn't, is it?
No, I think, to me, my big word is balance. And I think that I love the fact that in concept, all of those options stay in place moving forward.
Okay, I like when you say everybody balance. It's balance. It's balance. Okay.
Here we go. I didn't hit a
no, so I'm just
buzzword.
going back. Like, this is why I think we have to be aware. We are the leaders of this church at this point.
That's right.
So as you're looking out and looking at the thing, I know that gathering is a value. So like if it's a worship night, or if it's a do-good community project, or is there a higher value or a higher experience based on those things? I would say no.
Right.
I would say that it doesn't matter, because what are you ultimately saying? You're going, well, there are certain things that happen when a larger group of people get together. But here's why this is so important. At this time, we just went through a challenging time where that was not allowed. Mm-hmm. And many experts believe that it was a game changer from now until the end of time.
Sure.
So we have to be aware and go, if it changes, I can't be saying with the balance. It may be way out of balance because the truth is it was way out of balance before we started. Yeah. So there was no balance.
Yeah, I would say
it was like get to church and now check your box. I've done that because life groups. The reason I'm saying that is life groups, Sunday school classes, and all that other. Most of those people across America were skewing those numbers, or not truly talking about those because people weren't in community. They were more in like, well, I go to church. I attend somewhere once a year, once a month. Because the numbers before COVID were saying that the average American family was attending church once a month.
Correct.
So it's been out of balance.
I agree.
So I'm saying that when you think, well, now I'm trying to get them back, and I'm going to now with worse conditions, we want you back in here. I'm going, if they were only going once a month, you better figure out a new method.
Yeah, I would say, I would affirm you in saying that it's going to actually create a balance in the sense that you're going to have people potentially at all three levels of relationship that we've always talked about, which is small, medium, and large. Because, everybody's got a friend or two. You hope they do.
And if not, and I go back to if not, this is where it goes back to, you have to work to create that. Right. You have to challenge that person. So whoever they are, if it's Donnie and Lisa or me and you, to go, how are you doing that?
Sure.
Of the people on the screen, the life group leaders never thought to invite someone.
Right.
So that's not making fun of them or being, I'm just going, the culture is so, I'm just waiting until we get back. One day we're going to get back. Until then, I'll just watch it by myself at the house. And I'm going, no, my gosh, man, so it's like you're having to swing hard to go. So like right now, we may not get back for a month, 2 months.
Right.
And then I went to the doctor today. So my doctor, keep his name anonymous. I said, man, he said, what are we doing? I was kind of telling him, he's in the leadership, so we were kind of talking about what was going on. He said, I think y'all are doing the right thing. I think it's wise. He said, but here's what I'm telling you. I believe this fall it's spiking again. And I think it's going to be worse than it was because of the flu is going to be intermixed with it. That we don't really have a test bed of that. So families, kids, older people are going to go like, hold on, I'm certainly not going to risk that now.
Right.
So I'm going, why do we got to work so hard during the summer and get your mind shifted that way and put your energy that way, which is way out of balance? Because it may be way out of balance because you can't get back to where we were. So as leaders, it's out there, and we're going to do that. But I'm trying to make sure that we communicate clearly. You got to rethink this thing. If we're going to survive, and if the church is going to make a difference, which biblically and Jesus-wise, we're guaranteed to. But how that happens is Jesus changes the way we do it.
Right.
So when he showed up in the New Testament, they had a method.
Sure.
And they stuck to their method. And Jesus said, I ain't in your method. I'm blowing this thing up. And it became through oppression that forced them into smaller gatherings, into homes, because they could not publicly gather, is why we're sitting here on a podcast in 2020 debating that. So in the same way, I think what Life Church and Gateway and all them are saying is like, we don't like it because we're so used to our method and what we've grown up with, but look at what God's doing. And then the challenge is, let me embrace that at a level that I may be uncomfortable with, or I'm not really sure how it's going to work. But when we turn around and look at, if it's only for a year, then God did something in a year that was the only way he could do it. If it's the next 50 years, we all point back and go, boy, that was a game changer. That thing changed the whole shooting match. And I am not saying that I know, but I am saying I hear a local church a lot. We just got to get back. We just got to get back. I'm going, you're right, but get back to what?
Right.
Being with people in a safe way is what I'm challenging with. So forget the method. Maybe you go, all right, I'm not worried about what that method looks like. I just got to get back around those people. Just like staff meeting yesterday. I think that's the thing, is if you can have a neighborhood party, or if you have a gathering that's safe with the people that you trust, then there's something spiritual about that. There's something unique about that God is in. I'm going to give you a scripture. Where 2 or 3 are gathered,
Right.
The Lord is in their midst. Not grill in the midst. In the midst.
Grill in the midst.
So go ahead. Any other?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Scott's quiet on this, by the way.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
because I'm fascinated by it. I'm listening. I got sucked in.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
So we know what John thinks. What do you think? We're gonna
Well-
come back to John.
I love it.
I like he goes, bye.
I really love the idea of breaking it up. I think that's exactly the direction we need to go. I love the idea of being the restaurants and making it smaller because the biggest criticism that I've ever heard of Simple Church, and this is just from our own people, is they feel very lost in the mix because we're a fairly large church for this area, and a lot of people they're either afraid to be connected or they're afraid of a life group because they don't know a lot of people. Well, this kind of breaks down all their barriers and going, well, no, I know this couple over here, and then this couple knows this couple, so it's like, it's kind of like the 2 + 2 = 4 or whatever that thing
That's
is.
true. 2
Yeah.
+ 2
Sorry, I was trying to.
four. Yeah. I like
in my mind it made sense, but saying out loud it didn't. But
it. No, it does.
Yeah, so I think this forces us to break down those barriers and go, no, we have to find, because I don't think the answer is coming back to a building, because I think that there's a lot of churches that are going to the trouble of doing that, and then just like Ricky said, there's a really good chance after 3, you finally get back to normal, and then they're going to go, nope, you got to stop again because it's gone up, and all that. So I think it's very important to try to find an alternative and to figure that out now and already get that in place. So if that happens again.
Yeah, and I think you're going.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you won't have the other, but I think you just got to be diverse in your method.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. But plus, you're always supposed to be thinking forward, too, in every sense of the word, because if not, then you die. I mean, as business-wise, not like I'm going to die if I don't think forwardly, but business-wise, because, I'm a businessman.
Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you're always supposed to be thinking forward and thinking ahead and trying to be 2 moves ahead just in case. Because if not, then you're like Sears and you're closed, and then you're going, well, crap, we don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So, no, I think that's very important.
The world's changing.
I mean, that's the cool part about us is we're uniquely positioned to be very, very mobile and very flexible. And I've said it a billion times, but I am super thankful for that, because I would have to venture to say that we're probably doing better financially, health-wise, than a lot of churches are, because we don't have to get back to a building immediately to survive.
And I've said it, and this is why, if it ever made sense to people, some people are going, I get it now.
Right.
Because 13 years ago, when I'm going, we're not building. I mean, we got that question every partner party, all the way up until COVID struck.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to build? Are you ever going to build? What would you do right now if we
Right.
had put $20 million into a facility that's not being built or can't meet in or don't know how to do it, and the mortgage is due next week?
Right.
Or next month. And I'm going, the church, and again, I don't know of I'm sure there's other churches across America that are in our position, but I can say that based on my limited knowledge, and we know I know some of the big churches, no one is doing it the way we're doing it.
Right.
And I'm talking about from the pre-show to engaging in that way, and we're going to make that better even in the next few weeks and the months to come, because there's different ideas we have, and more engaging, and it involves more of y'all's participation, people sending pictures and telling stories and things, so that there's some connection level of that, not just me and Angie being silly, but it's like, well, oh yeah, man, that's cool, or we'll look at that, or what's going on. That can always happen. That gives those people, wow, that's a pretty cool place to go or be a part of. But then to be able to go, dude, we're going to partner with local restaurants and maybe possibly help save some, or at least save some jobs initially, or give them some hope of going, man, we got guaranteed 50 people coming that morning that they didn't have guaranteed before. That's what the restaurants are like going, man, that's a pretty big deal. So then if you're a listener, I'm going, don't go, I'm going to sleep in today. It's like, no, now it's a commitment and accountability to, yes, the church, and to, yes, what God's doing, and in addition to the community and to those people that it's your witness, your testimony, and that is like, hey, man, I'm going to go and I'm going to support this restaurant. And if you can only afford to do that once a month, save your money till Sunday and go out. be with other people, so the body of Christ is able to encourage each other and, man, good to see you and speak into you, have some church time together, and then be able to walk out there and go, man, that made a big difference. And who knows if it goes on forever, because everything changes. But at the same time, it could be a total different way of doing it, total different way. And it doesn't cost a whole lot.
Right.
There's very minimal risk is going, how much is going to cost? Where convention center, the only other positive I can say about when we're able to gather and how that looks is we got more square footage than anybody, and it's a lot cheaper than anybody.
Right.
We have more square footage than any church in this area, by far.
Correct. You have access to 200 and something thousand square feet.
That's a lot of feet
Yeah.
It's a lot of feet
that have been squared.
So when you start dividing that out, but the parts of that are still underestimated or underappreciated or underthought of is you have to do that safely.
Right.
For your kids and for every person in there. And because of that, it changes that dynamic. So to go the large gathering route, when we get back, which we'll get back, maybe, like I said, in the next couple of months, we'll talk a little bit more about that Sunday as far as a definitive timeline, because we're waiting on Convention Center and waiting on a few more pieces of information to say it's a date, whatever that is. What they're not prepared for is the way it feels versus the way it felt before. Because when you go in that room, whatever room we're in and whatever size we're in, because we can scale up or down to accommodate what we're doing, number one, you'll have to tell us you're coming to some degree, so we'll have to have some reservation system in that as well so that we don't overwhelm whatever we create or provide. But when you're spread out and it's separated and you can't hug, because at that point, and you can't shake hands. Now, we're working on how you see each other's face and all that, so we'll have some of those things where at least you can see a smile or whatever's going to go on. But you figure that out, it will be different. And so some people are going to go, that's not what I thought. Because we heard churches met this weekend, that's what they said. Well, that was weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same. So I'm going back to do something that is something you're familiar with, but maybe in a way that you've never connected the two. Why don't you go to church at a restaurant with your friends, laugh a little, connect, learn something, and then go, okay, that's an interim step. Or get people at your house or do a neighborhood party. Eventually we can get into some of those things. But ultimately we will gather. And I still think, so let's say that the restaurants work or these other ways work. And there's no COVID a year from now. Then I'm saying, man, on a couple of cases, like Easter, that those rallies now have had a chance to reach more people than you would have ever reached before. So the Easter comes in because they brought someone to a restaurant or to their home or to a smaller gathering, and you're going to do it. And we're having a 4 times, 6 times a year huge gathering where they're going, dude, that could be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
It could be at another level that they really haven't seen before. Because it goes back to the number one way people came to Simple Church for 13 years. Not billboards, not mail-outs, not advertising, but the personal invite.
That's it.
Peer
like
to
that?
peer.
Well said.
P to P.
So you got to still go back to it. Who you invite to your house or who you invite to go eat.
Who wants to come visit with my kitties?
There's some houses you don't want to meet in, Scott. I think you're going to be a restaurant guy.
There may be a cat lover out there somewhere.
Yeah, little Isabel Smokey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. So
Well, cool.
I don't know how long we are, but I've been
I'm thinking
An hour 12.
Yeah, so
Oh, my God.
It's time to wrap it up. But I would say tune in Sunday for sure because
Absolutely.
it is going to be a very
Simple
informative
Church
message.
2.0.
Yes,
2.0.
2.0.
This is where you reload, you update your software.
Reload. I like that.
Trust me, the computer got shut down. You ever been there and it froze up on you?
Oh,
the
yeah.
church froze up.
It's called a hard reboot.
Yeah, it's time to
Got
hard
the blue
reboot.
screen of death.
That's
Yes,
it.
and they're like, yeesh,
COVID screen.
But it's coming back up.
coming back.
That's right.
Different way.
There you go.
All right. Until next time.
That's right. Peace, my brothers, sisters.